Hi, I'm Karina Kittles Karsten, and it is my honor today to introduce you to Stephen Walters. Stephen is a world-class guitarist and vocalist, performing original, transcendental music on his albums Just This Moment and So Many Blessings. For over a decade, I have been a huge fan of yours, and so it is just a pleasure to finally get to meet you today.
Thank you.
So I just want to tell you that when Timothy, my husband, and I were first dating, we listened to you over and over and over. I mean, you were our theme music for our love blossoming. I want to ask you, did you ever think that your music would inspire romance?
Oh, it's interesting. I never thought that, but I've had many couples say that to me. And I think of it, as you mentioned, as more transcendentally inspiring, I guess you could say. But I guess that is the essence of coming together with someone, is finding that transcendental space that we both can share. I've had people tell me they've played it while they're making love, and I thought, that's...
Woo! I love it!
That's just beautiful.
What do you classify your style as?
I've got some gospel tunes. Maybe you haven't heard those
Ooh.
yet, but I have things that might lend themselves more to almost like the James Taylor country kind of
I
thing.
See that.
And in fact, I had to go on a James Taylor fast at one point. He's really been a master for me.
Yes.
I'll throw in a couple of jazzier chords than you might normally hear in some of the spirit music these days. So I love that it's an amalgam of all the things that have opened me up. And
this morning I was listening to some of my favorite songs of yours, and I was just thinking about your songs are so filled with deep but simple spiritual truths. And what inspired you to bring that into your music?
I guess the best place is to go way back. I remember being a kid and looking back, and if I would think of it psychologically, I think I individuated much later than most kids. I was in a state for many years, I don't know when it changed, but maybe till like 7 or 8, where I really hadn't made that separation between me and other.
Interesting.
I remember being in school and just feeling every other kid in my classroom, feeling the emotions they were going through. I thought everyone was like this.
Wow.
And, I only realized years later that I love love. That's what I love. I love that connection.
We're so alike.
I bet.
You had a dark night of the soul. More than one, but the one I'm familiar with is that you've been on the road for many, many years, traveling and playing in blues and country music venues. And then you had gone on a trip to India, and you came back. And can you tell me about that story and how it led you?
Sure. I'd returned from India around late 92, early 93. And I came back and I felt really, really low energy, really bad. Very quickly after a blood, checking my blood, they said that I had leukemia. Then I had a major reaction to one of the drugs they gave me. They said that I possibly had less than 24 hours. In the midst of that 24-hour period, I had the feeling to sit up in my bed. I had complications of pneumonia, possible cardiac arrest. My heart was about to... I could hear the machine beeping. My heart was going faster and faster. I couldn't quite do it myself, but I asked them to raise the bed. I could get a little bit more breath. And it's funny because it's spiritual, but I also remembered my swim coach. I was a competitive swimmer in high school.
Oh, really?
And I've been college, and I remember him always telling us, see if you can get 1% more air in your lungs, then go for 2%, 10%, and meditating and thinking, can I breathe and just get 1% more oxygen in my lungs as I breathe? And I was able to do that.
My goodness.
And I don't know how many hours I did this for, but with every bit of focus and attention that I could, I stayed with my breath and used that to kind of keep myself in my body. It was amazing because I became strong enough, which they never thought I would be, to receive a bone marrow transplant. And
I mean, just think about having 24 hours to live. What would you do? What would you do? Would you let fear take over you, or would you just allow the divine to speak to you? This is what led you to the music that you do now.
that's right.
So you made a deal.
I
What
did
was the
make
deal?
I made one of those deals that many people have made who've gotten to this point, and it literally was, God, if you get me through this, I'll stop playing these smoky bars 6 nights a week, and I'll do the music I really came here to do.